Okay, in this video we're going to take up where we left off. This is the very top of the machine here. And these, before you can get all these glued and tacked in, we're going to take it to the table saw and we're going to trim that off. Where it's pretty much flush, the top shelf and the bottom shelf. So we need to just cut a little bit off of it. And we do need to drill a hole in the bottom shelf so we can run wires. So do that also. Okay, that looks a lot better. Got it flush here. Do the same thing on the bottom. It's in there now. Now we'll get this bottom shelf in. Pull it out, drill a couple holes for the speaker wires to go through. Now we'll get it glued. We got this front panel on now. Got it all glued, nailed, pin nailed. Got the shells all cut off. Got the holes drilled in the bottom for the speaker wires. Probably ought to put one up through here. Yeah, I think I will put one up through there. As long as I don't blow through it. That's better. Yeah, it made it a lot more solid. Look like I ran out. Okay, all that part's done for now. We're going to come back and do some caulking here in a few minutes. Gonna work on this front edge right here and see how loose it is. Gonna put a piece of old scrap in there. Just put it up underneath here. Gonna glue it, pin nail it. Pin nail it this way and this way. It ought to really strengthen this up. So I'll get some glue out. Okay, glue it on both sides there. Okay. Start down here. Yeah, it really made it a lot better. And it'll even be better once it glue dries. Okay, so that's done. Okay, now we got the front panel on here. On this hinge right here, you want just to just a little bit lower than this strip right here. That's so you leave room for your double-sided tape right here. Put double-sided tape right there, hold the glass, and then put another trim piece all the way around it. Trim it out. Okay, this piece is in. Still got to bolt it in. Switches go here. Still got to cock it up underneath and around it. We can take some fine sandpaper and clean up that caulking before we get ready to paint it. Okay, I'll just have this pin nailed in the side here. We still need to go into, still need to put like a little board in behind it. Help hold that in there. I could probably pin nail that from the bottom side here. Yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt to have a little board in behind it. I ran out of glue, so I'm going to have to get some more. Okay, this part right here is going to take a lot of pushing down on it, flipping switches or whatever. So you want to make sure you're going to have something to hold it in there. Just like I'm a little bit too long. Try this one. Yeah, that one will work. Tack that one in there. If you got glue, I would glue it. Okay, that one go on that side. Like I'm gonna have to cut it off just a little bit. I'll pull that hinge off and caulk some of that. Okay, I've been working on these side tables over here, getting them all cut out. Three pieces of 1/2 inch material works pretty good. You want just above just a little bit above the table here. That way when you got your chips on the side there, you can stack up the quarters to knock them off. So you want it just a little bit above the table. Show you what I did on this. I put a strip on the front of this, on this panel here. Put a strip on the front of it. I still need to sand it, paint it. And I need to do that here pretty quick because I'm fixing to start painting. But I still have to notch out right here on both sides. That's for the house. Notch that out and it'll fall down. So whenever I go to gluing and nailing these together, I'll notch that out. I'll take that bottom one down here and notch it out square. I know there's about the length of a dollar bill that's rolled up. So I'm not sure how. I don't have any money out here with me, so we'll have to work on that later. But I was thinking about putting in the motor today, and I went into town and got some paint. So I think what I'm going to do, so that paint's all mixed up by machine, and I'm going to go ahead and get this cabinet all painted. Get it painted white on the inside and get it painted black on the outside. Now before you start sanding, you really need to go over your any areas that you put caulking on. Just make sure it's really pretty smooth. And if you paint it and you see it's still kind of rough looking, you can always hit it again, sand it, and then you might have to touch it up some more. That's probably what we'll do. Go ahead and hit all this black. I need to sand the front of this right here, make it nice and smooth. I'll need to get this back out of there. I don't want to drop it. This thing here is about, I got it on a Coin Pusher arcade online. I think it was like $119 just for this tray right here. You can get them on eBay for $147, around $150, but if you look around you can get a better deal on it. So I'm going to get my paintbrush out. I'll show some of it being painted, but I want to get all my black on the outside painted for the most part, so it won't overspray into the inside, which I'm going to be painting with a brush. Inside I'm going to do with a brush. With just some use interior or exterior paint. Okay, got it all painted. Once I get the shelf and stuff put in, I'm going to go ahead and probably do a double coat on the playing area. All the bottom area I'm not going to worry about. It's really not going to show. Okay, this is the color that I picked for the side tables. It's not quite dry yet. Going to be a blue for the side tables beside the pusher. So that'll look cool. It sure does change the look of it after you get it painted. Inside the playing area, right above the shelf, center shelf, I'll get that painted again. And once I get this front door in, then I can shoot that front door and fix all this. Marks right there. And along the bottom. Yeah, it's coming along good. So we'll get that center shelf, we'll get it painted again and get that installed, and we'll be able to start installing, put in the electric motor and pusher tray and all that good stuff. Now the fun part starts. This is what I've been waiting on. Start putting in all the goodies after you get the cabinet painted. Them side trays right there, I gotta glue them and pin nail them, and like I said, I gotta notch them out for the house. The stuff will fall off into that bucket. Yeah, that's gonna be fun to play. Okay, I've been working on my side tables again. I got the slots cut out here in the bottom. Them are 2 3/4 each side. Just cut out your bottom pieces. Just make a little square area so the coins and chips and stuff can fall through. See, that's about 1.5 inches deep. 1.5 deep by 2 3/4. That'll work on your side table. All this right here don't have to be perfect because the slider tray is going to hide most of that. Only thing it's going to show is just the very top edge. And you push your tray, it'll come clear out to here. So all this front edge needs to be nice and pretty. We'll get all that sanded down and painted. It goes over here. I got to put another coat of white paint on this today so it can be drying, and tomorrow we can start cutting out the back part for the motor. Cutting out this back part for the motor. We're gonna have to build the motor mount and everything. Just got a scrap piece of metal, so I have to drill all of our holes for the motor mount. You can buy the motor mounts if you want them, but they're $25. And this is just a scrap piece of, I'll go get it real quick. Okay, this is just a scrap piece of metal off a printer. Pretty heavy. Got a nice little lip on it. That's what I like. It'll go on the opposite side, but this is showing you here. And I already got pre-drilled holes, so we'll just have to drill the holes for the motor itself. A big one in the middle and 4 little ones. We'll start working on that here pretty quick. That'll be centered in the middle. So I thought I'd show you this real quick. This is just 3 1/2-inch pieces. I built this out of 1/2-inch material. This is 3 pieces, 1.5 inches tall. So you couldn't do 3 pieces of 3/4. You'd have to do 2 pieces and something else thinner and sandwich that in between, because you still need a little bit here. Need at least 1/2 inch here for your building this for the house. Anything that goes in here goes to the house. I thought I'd show you these real quick, and then let's go over to the machine. I'll show you what I'm doing there. Okay, this is the lower part of the machine. This is where your coins and stuff's going to fall in. That's where your stuff's going to fall in. I made this out of the scrap pieces from the side trays. So I had just enough to make this. Your door is going to come up against that, and your opening is going to be right here. So that's how that's going to work. I was originally going to use this piece right here. This came off of like a change machine. But this is, I'd have to cut this open here before that could drop down inside there. And this is so small that it's really not going to work. So I changed my plans on this. I tried grinding it and cutting it, and that's stainless steel, and that's going to be hard to cut. So I really wanted a bigger hopper, because I'm planning on doing some pretty good sized towers and stuff to knock down. And that little thing there, see, this is 1, 2, 3 to 4 times bigger. I'd say 5 to 6 times bigger than that right there. So that's really not going to work. I'd be pulling out of that anytime you knocked anything over. So that's really not going to work. So I built that. Let's see if we can measure that real quick. Show you what we got. I got to keep all the details, because that way you'll know exactly how to make it. Okay, this is going to be, this side piece is going to be 6 inches tall. Side pieces are 6 inches tall, and they are 5.5 inches deep. And that one's 5.5 inches deep. So just make you, and then lengthwise it's 10 inches. So just take your scraps and build your little box like that. Caulk it, pin nail it. This down here in the bottom, you need to get you some 1/2 inch material here so you can tack it to. Raise it up. See, we got that thing raised up. I believe these side pieces here was 16 inches. These are 16 inches on each side here. Get you a little drawer if you got one around the house, or you can build one. But that's going to be where the house money's going in that. So I'm going to have to put a stop back there in the back. But that's your little bottom drawer for the loot chute, or that's for the house. Now we got to come in here and we got to go from here right up here to the bottom here. That'll be coming off right up here. Now we got to go from the side of the cabinet up here down to here. So it's going to be a pretty steep chutes right there. They'll be coming off and coming right down into there. Okay, this front edge right here is up against the doorway. So keep that in mind. This doorway, I've already got it marked here. I'll just put it on backwards so you can see. This is where you're going to cut out right here. I may make it a little bit wider because the whole box is this big, and I'm going to cut it out where you can stick your hand in there. So I might have to, I got big hands, so I might have to make it just a little bit wider. Maybe another inch on each side. But I can start with that and see how that's going to work. But see, this is this cutout's right up here at the top. These edges right here is going to touch the back of the door. Anyway, we're making good progress. I got the bottom painted with one coat. The upper area's got 2 coats on. I'm probably going to put 3 on it. I did 2 coats when it's wet, and then I've got it dried out completely good right now, and I got it sanded, and it's pretty good. So I got to go. The middle shelf, I got to get it painted again. It needs to be nice and slick. I think I'll get the sides painted in the top area. Top area up there, it all looks good. So we're making good progress on this. So I need to get out my sheet of plywood and start ripping some pieces for that. For the loot chute, and I got to put a back piece in there. A back panel is what I'm going to have to put in first, probably. It'll go, I can find me a piece here, scrap. Got to put a back panel in there first. It'll probably go right back in here. And they may have to tilt back to the top shelf just a little bit. That way them coins can come right off into here. So we need a 2-foot piece by around 6 inches. So I'm going to go get some plywood. They'll be going kind of to the bottom of this strip we put in there. Going to need about 16-inch strips. About maybe about 5.5 inches. 16-inch strips by 5.5. We'll see what we need, but yeah, and that's going to be, let's see, this panel here, I know it's going to be around 2 foot. And we're going to come back in here and paint all this too when we get it all put in. Okay, to the bottom of that, it's going to be about I'll go 14 and a half. 14 and a half by 2 foot for that center panel. And actually on that center panel, you don't have to go, you gotta go on the sides, but you can have it angling back in, following your chutes coming in this way. So if you need to access anything in behind here, you can. But you can put strips back here to nail it to. We still got a few scrap pieces of strips we can put in there. So we'll get the plywood out and we'll start cutting. Okay, this is looking down through the center of the cabinet here. You can see how that bottom drawer extends way out. So it'll catch the house money. And this is the main loot chute right here, or the loot box right there. That's for the house. That's down below. Thought I'd show you that real quick before we get it all covered up. Okay, now we'll go over here to the plywood. I got it all marked out. Okay, on this panel here, I didn't go all the way to the end of it because the end of it's not real good. This is just 3/8 AC plywood. This would be good for what we're using it for. This is about $25 a sheet. Okay, these 3 pieces right here, them are I think I really only need 2 of them. This one and that one. Them are 2 foot by, what was that, 16. Everything's going to be pretty much 2 foot. 2 foot wide. And these are 15 and a half. Around 15 and a half for your loot chutes. Be putting them in pretty quick. Okay, then this is this bottom piece down here. This is your backboard for your pusher tray. This is actually where the coins are going to be coming down. You can put a lot of people put mirrors and stuff on that, or paint it white. This is the back side of your pusher tray is going to go right down here on the bottom. In fact, we'll have to notch it up a little bit. This right here be your side tables. That's that backboard there. Okay, your next, that's your back panel. That's the back panel to fill in the panel right there. That big old empty spot right there. That'll fill that in. Okay, on the far side over here. Okay, let me get you some sizes on that. I believe your back panel was 28 inches. Well, I've got it 30. I'm gonna have to trim that. But I believe it's 28. This back panel here for the pusher tray, 2 foot wide, of course. And you got 18 inches. This is the rest of your loot chutes. This is the sides that come down. Be putting them in here shortly. These are 5.5 inches wide by however long the panel is. We'll have to cut them. We don't need very long pieces. I think it was just 14 or 15 inches, so that's going to be plenty. So the rest of the panel, you got to do whatever you want to with it. So we got not quite a half a sheet left. If you had some really good material, you could probably do all that with half a sheet. But let me measure it and make sure. We'll just go from mark to mark. See if that ain't 4 foot. No, it's going to be a little bit more than that. It's 4 foot to here. You still need 5.5 inches for your loot chutes here. So you really need another whole sheet. So I'm going to cut all that out off camera. And this is some thin material, so I'm going to have to be careful. So I'll go ahead and cut all that out. Get it all labeled too. Get it all labeled so you know what it is. So we'll be back here in a minute. Okay, this is the loot chute for the back. This is the very back panel that goes into for the house. You got these shorter runs here. So we're gonna put this right up under that lip right there. We're gonna tack it right there. Aim it towards the drawer down there. We're just gonna tack the unpainted wood in case we gotta move it. We'll have a chance to move it. We tack it in, we ain't gonna be able to move it. Okay, I'm gonna try to get one on the bottom too. Easier said than done. Move you over here so you can see what I did. Okay, see that goes down into the drawer down there. Okay, this is the back loot chute right here. This is the one that goes to the house. I got the two side loots on, but them go right into the drawer down there in the bottom. Everything comes off your side tables, goes right into the bottom drawer down here. Now we got another panel that goes on the front of that. And then this right here is the hopper that you get. Okay, we'll get that next panel on there. See, I did notch these out so that will fit in there. So they will, I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, now I got the front panel on. This is the back panel, this is the front panel. Then we got one more to go right here. One more loot chute that goes on the sides here. Put that in now. The reason why I didn't nail it to the painted wood yet is because I had to slide it back that way. So now I pretty well got it in place. Okay, this is the very bottom of the machine. Right down here in this slot, bottom slot down there, gonna put a DVD player. That's the only place I could put it. And I had to raise the drawer up 3 inches, put it on its own little shelf there. So now I didn't want to put the DVD player above the drawer because I'd be chips and coins and all that would be hitting the DVD player. Don't want that. So that was the best way to doing it. So if you're not going to put a DVD player in there, you don't have to worry about doing that step. Just build your little shelf. I think it's 10 inches across on the DVD player. It'll slide back in there. If it won't, I'll have to build another one. Build it just a little bit wider. So this is where everything's going right here. I really need to sand these before I put these in. That one, because this will be your last chance to sand anything. I already sanded all the loot chutes except for these two pieces. And then I'm going to get it all glued in tonight where it can be. I got the pin nail right now where it's holding together. By the time you get your glue and I just glue it across the face of it there. And then by the time you get your paint and all that on there, it's definitely going to hold. So you got both sides on there. Okay, I can tack that in there if I can get my nail gun in there. If not, I'll have to shoot it from the front side. this little coin drawer right here, some of them mounted to the door itself. But can you imagine that mounted to the door if you had all that piled up? Them coins and chips are heavy. So I decided to put it in like this. I mean, you can do it however you want. If you did it the other way, you'd have to have all this freestanding, where when you shut the door, you'd have a little gap in here that would just slide under it. You might have a 1/4 inch gap between these two pieces here. So I'm going to go ahead and get all that nailed in there. Go ahead and get it glued where it can dry tonight. And then we're going to start working on the motor. Going to start mounting the motor on the center shell. Okay, now we're looking at the back side of the cabinet. See how the very back loot chute, this back one right here, goes to the house. That's your side tables, the little slot that go down in there. See how they go down into the drawer right there. That's what they say goes to the house. Okay, all my loot chutes are all pin nailed. They're all glued and caulked, but see how this is gonna support that shelf in the middle. I'd like to put one more right in here, maybe right behind the motor. Being I'm running 1/2 inch material, this would be like floor joists in a house. It'd really support it good. You wouldn't be surprised how heavy those coins and those chips are. Things are really heavy. Yeah, we don't want that thing sagging in a couple years. So that would definitely, see the way I notched them out? Notched them out right there over this strip right here on both of them. And that way you can slide them all the way where it's even right here. That'll give that center shelf lots of support. So we're going to try to put another one in here somewhere. Maybe it'd be behind the motor, or it might be in front of the motor. I'm not sure yet. I'd rather have it right in here, right behind the motor. So now we're going to go over to the table over there, and we're going to start cutting out for the motor. Show you how to do that. Okay, on this motor mount plate, going to measure the metal here. Go 9 inches there, 8 inches there, 8.5 there. Got about right around 8.5, a little bit under. Okay, I've had nightmares about this. Drawing around this thing, cutting it out, and then it's not going to work. So we're just going to lightly mark it. Now we need this thing about 3/4 of an inch or inch over, something like that. So now we can mark it here. Pull it back about that far. Here's our light marks here. We'll go over that much. Okay. Looks like I'm a little bit wider on this side, but I'll just cut on the outside line on this one. Cut on the line on that one. Double check it again. Make sure we got some support out here. May drill a couple more holes in that. But one in the middle and maybe a couple more out here. So now we can cut this out. Okay, that's not too bad. Now we got, this is on the bottom side, by the way. The other side is painted. You want to mount that on the bottom side. It's not very straight here, but it's really not going to show. Get that motor. I guess I could straighten that up a little bit. Okay, now we get the motor over here, and I'll show you how we're gonna find our holes. Okay, here's our motor, and we need to drill a big hole in the middle, and then I'll get that done real quick. What I'm doing, I'm running out of time on my camera, so I'm gonna have to hurry here to get everything included on here. I got 8 minutes left. So I'm going to have to get this done. Okay, if you can see that. I got an X in the middle, so now I know where to drill at. So it's going to take a drill bit big enough for that to go through. See what we can find. Okay, see how I put my part in the vise? It'll hold your drill bit right there on the X. Okay, that's the small hole. Now I got to drill the bigger one. So now we'll get the big one out, get that one drilled. Okay, I got the big hole drilled. And what we're doing here, to find your mounting bolts, I put some touch-up paint on where your bolts go. Then I set it down on there. It won't set flat because of the way this thing's made. It's got this bearing right here, and it's not gonna, unless you drill this hole out bigger where that can, unless you drill that out bigger where that thing can sit inside there. Then what we're gonna do on this is, these drill holes need to be on the inside of the red paint. See, because this only touched right in here. It only touched on the outside edges. So you want to drill right on the inside of it. See what I mean? Just like that. And we can even drill them out just a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger than the bolts. Yeah, that would work right there. We'll drill it out this size right here. Drill these out, and then I'll be right back. I got 5 minutes left. Okay, what I wound up doing was drilling these holes. Wound up drilling all these holes the same size as this one here. I'm not real sure what size that is. But if you make your own motor mount, you're going to have to figure out where your holes are. I mean, I got close, but it wasn't close enough for a small drill bit. And what I did on this motor mount, I put one washer on the outside. Put one washer on the outside. And I put 3 on the inside. See, that raised it up where it needs to be, so it's not sitting on the bearing. I don't know if you can see that. See, I got 3 on each side, all the way around, and now it's not sitting on the bearing. So, got these tightened down, so it ought to be in good shape now. This thing mounts like this. Well, I mounted my motor on the wrong side. I guess that's okay. It'd been nice to have that little lip on the up against the inside there though, but I guess it ain't gonna matter. Now I got to get me a smaller drill bit and get these drilled out. Yeah, I'd have to take and flip that motor over, put it on the other side. Wasn't watching what I was doing, because I was wanting it to mount like that, but it mounts on the bottom side like that. So you have this open area at the bottom, at the top. Okay, it's supposed to look just like this on the top. Your pusher shelf goes in here, and this all connects on here. That ought to work out real good. So I am running out of time on this P2 card, so I'm going to have to take up where I left off. I was supposed to got all this mounted and even the pusher tray installed, but didn't make it. So we'll just pick up where we left off in the next episode. So this will do this episode, and thanks for watching.